far as minutes, we will discuss meeting minutes from last time at the next meeting, I guess. Old business, I don't know where we stand at this point, so I guess we should table that till next meeting too.
We were talking about the, having some sort of a cookout
Yes,
in the
yeah.
fall,
Okay, so a social activity?
social activity, right?
Yeah,
Right.
For the town?
for farmers,
Right.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
The idea was to get them, to get people who don't really know who we all are, try to get the, wasn't that we were gonna get them all on the, here, but
Right.
that we were just gonna get them together so everybody knew that there were other people that were still in this
Yep.
town.
Yep, and meet and greet, we've done it in the past, you know, maybe we can, at next meeting, start looking at either a late spring, summer event or something
Mhm.
like that. And we have the facility to do it outside for a number of people, so, and that's an option. That was an option in the fall and still an option in the future.
Great.
Okay, so nothing ever came of it?
Nothing
Okay.
specific, yeah.
Nothing.
How many farms do we have in Hubbardston?
Now, are you talking hobby farmers or farmers for income? There's a difference.
Okay, yeah, cause I'm like a hobby farmer.
Well, you
Because I
get,
just-
do you, the distinguishing thing based on the town's methods is, do you file Schedule F
Taxes.
on taxes for farming?
No,
Okay, and if you don't, then you're a hobby farmer.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're an active farmer. No.
We at one point, a long time ago at this point, had put together a list of people who considered themselves farmers. And it was a pretty good sized list of people.
Both hobby and
Yeah,
active,
yeah.
yes. There was, well over, as I recall, well over 45 people on
Yeah.
the list.
Yeah,
Nice.
something like that.
So-
Addresses,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I think I still have that old list on
Yeah.
my computer, and you probably do too.
Right, yeah. Be a starting point. That might be something for the future too, to try to update that and find
Well, that kind of
new
moves
people
into
out there.
new business,
Right.
update. Farming list. We don't necessarily have to nominate new members.
Right, we have two new members.
However, go ahead.
Yep, Mary and Kathy.
However, at this point, you probably need to establish your president and secretary.
Right. So,
I nominate her
For secretary.
for secretary, no, not secretary.
Yeah, secretary.
You wanna be secretary?
Yeah, I'll do notes and make sure agendas are published and all the
Okay.
rest.
I second.
And I'll make sure things keep moving
Yes. Okay,
through the paperwork part side aspect of it.
good.
Then you have to say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, so.
And then for president?
I
I nominate
nominate,
him.
yeah, I second that.
Okay.
So.
That was easy.
How do I spell my name? D-A.
In the past, those were the only two positions we had
Right.
in past years.
So shall we vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay.
You could have spoken up.
And your biggest responsibility is just kind
Show
of run
up.
this meeting and show up, that's it. So, how's that sound?
So moving on to activities for 2023, the social.
Mhm.
We had talked about getting a flyer together for, for realtors, if I recall.
Right.
And part of it was we're going to take a picture of the Hubbardston farmers at the social, to put together with a flyer. So, in some form, we should get a flyer together so that realtors can put that out there and they're supposed to let, any prospective buyers know we're a right to farm town, but
Right.
whether they actually do or not, and it's gonna be a piece of paper that shows we do have farmers and
Yeah.
we are active.
Yeah, it came from a couple that was having some problems, and didn't really understand what the whole thing was about, so, you know, we
So the,
told them we were gonna try to get that straightened out, but in the interim, that guy on the hill up there got his tail in somebody else's hook, and he now knows that there's a passing that people can go by, and it's not his property.
Are you aware of this at all? There was a situation on our road where basically there was right of way in between two parcels this person owned. And he had been, blocking it off, blocking access to people walking horses, or riding horses, or walking, and,
okay,
considered it his own property, which it wasn't,
okay.
so. It was brought to our attention by, horse owners.
Okay, and, so even the website needs updating, right? With members and
Right.
if there's complaints, who to reach out to.
Yeah,
Okay, update, so number 3 is update website. Got members, and then complaints should go to, now who should they go to? Any one of the members?
I would say any one of the members, you know,
Okay.
first point of contact, and then, you know, we can discuss as needed.
yeah.
And,
The police have my name, I think.
yeah.
They have mine too, but I'm not sure as far as on the
Animal-
ed committee.
Yeah. So the other thing is, reach out to, animal control. To update contact list.
Right.
Okay.
You're looking
It's-
good.
Thank you. I'm pretty good this year.
Good.
I had a lot of brain fog last year,
Yeah, well, you deserve it.
so, yeah, and, it's coming back around, so, yep, thank you. I can actually think, I swear to God, I did stuff automatically last year, a lot of the time, with everything that had happened the previous 2-3 years. Well, actually
Kinda
4,
hard,
but
yeah.
anyhow.
It's
Yeah.
been hard.
So anyhow, reach out to a contact list. And, since I serve on the Board of Health as well, any appropriate emails I'll just forward to you guys like I've started doing.
Yeah.
Do you know, does anybody know if the Massachusetts Agricultural Commission, group, MACC, exists anymore?
I haven't heard from them for a long time.
Okay. To know if we should, you know, 'cause sometimes that's resources if we
Right.
need it. My resource is also the Massachusetts Farm Bureau.
Right.
Anybody else, you're a member, right?
I am.
And you are too? Okay. So, for resources on help on subject matters that pertain to agriculture.
Mhm.
Because, they can help us a lot with a lot of anything legal or anything we have questions about. So 3 of us having memberships, that's really helpful, so. All right.
Any other planned activities for 2023? We want to look at, discuss?
In the past, we did a farm day,
Yeah,
and then we flipped it the last couple of years that I was on it, and did a farm day at the elementary school before the
Oh,
end of their
that's
school
right.
year.
That was fun.
To reach kids.
right.
That was nice.
I think both worked out well. I think the first farm day was better than the second for some, and
Okay.
whether it's a case of, we did it once, or whatever. The school worked,
We did that, what, twice?
once or twice,
I think I was there twice.
I think twice, I think
Yeah,
I remember
you were there.
twice, yeah, and I subbed there a lot, so I would have been, like I was,
Right,
I worked at the school.
yeah.
I would have been there, yeah. That's a really nice idea. I could contact the school if you wanted to do that again and see if they would allow us. I don't know, just because of COVID still, like if they're inviting people, but it would be an outside activity.
yeah.
You know, they sort of limit the, people that come into the school.
That's something we would wanna try to do again, or?
It actually worked pretty well, I thought.
I thought it was, the kids really liked it.
Yeah.
And we got parents
Yes.
to,
Help.
assist the groups.
Yes, yeah.
So that there wasn't
Yeah, so it was a small, and they even broke the classes,
into,
Into
yeah,
smaller
so grade, they
groups.
did a grade at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
but then they were broken down, cause I remember
And-
not having like 20 kids around my
Right, they split
table,
it.
they split them, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause of however many students it was,
Right.
and there was, what, 5 or 6 of us?
Yeah,
Participating?
at least, yeah. Yeah, 'cause you guys were there, Allison was there, you were there, I was there.
Yeah. That was done in June, towards the end of their school
Yes,
year.
yeah.
Yep.
Is that a good or a bad time? I heard Yellowstone,
Oh, yeah.
not June.
Early June.
Oh, you're traveling early?
No, we're leaving the 19th.
Okay,
So,
well, I'm sure
yeah.
school's out by then
Right, so
anyways.
early June would,
Yeah.
Yeah, right with me. I'm going out there. Well, I have an aunt who's perished, and I'm in the family to go out to Wyoming and get her interred.
mhm, yeah.
Gotcha.
Things they ask you to do.
Oh, yeah. So it would be a, farm to school day,
Okay,
I think's what we used to call it.
would you like me to ask them?
So
Yes.
what you need to
Okay.
do is reach out to the school principal.
Yep, yep, I
Okay,
know
so
her.
Mary will take
Yep.
lead. Reach out to,
So we're thinking like early June?
Yeah.
sure.
No, why not?
Okay.
No,
I don't know that I have anything going on.
I'm okay in June.
I don't know what's going on next week, but
I'm not sure when I get home.
Just not Friday the 3rd, I think, or 1st or whatever that Friday is.
Yeah.
Grandson's got a
Second.
recital.
June 2nd.
Alright, not a biggie.
I have
Other than it's a 2-hour drive.
And then when are you leaving?
the 19th.
Okay,
I think school's closed by then,
I think
isn't
so,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, so,
Is it?
I can't remember.
Okay, I know you have a grandson.
Yes.
that's-
Somewhere around
Usually
there.
they try to get out that week, the week of, you know,
Yeah.
like 18, 19,
Yeah.
20. They don't like to go much farther than like 21.
Sure.
But, so, yeah, and I'm not around that first week in June either.
And it depends on snow days, of course.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we haven't had many.
Exactly.
Did they close for the cold?
They
Yeah.
did not, which
Well,
surprised
not for
me.
the cold, but they lost power before that.
Yeah, they had to close that
Yeah.
Tuesday that we lost power, that the whole town was out, well, except for you guys.
Williamsville Road had power.
Yeah.
Right?
Yay.
We were having
We
water
usually
issues.
lose, so that's like a flip of the typical situation, is
Yeah.
that Williamsville Road had power this time.
Yeah, we had water issues, so our sump pump wasn't working at that
That's
point.
terrible.
And then the compressor, generator didn't work. So Tractor Supply, new generator. Got that back up and running before the water filled back up again.
Mhm.
You know, our youngest son, Mark has been with us here for a couple of months, and he's a mechanic. And when I got up that morning and went out there to get I couldn't get it, and I go out every month and start that thing.
And I don't.
It did not start. So, within about an hour, he had it running, so. We'd have been in the same spot. I had to, it was coming into the water was coming into the basement.
Yeah,
The sump pump wasn't working.
well, I've been fighting with a sump pump. I finally gave up and replaced it. It was doing everything but going on. And then all I needed to do was touch the pipe coming, and it would start. That's all it took to get it to start. But it would, and then it might start for a day, then it wouldn't. And, I finally gave up and replaced it, and this one's working just fine.
Yeah.
Could have done that a year ago.
I had to call the fire department and said, "Do you guys got some? Can you come down and pump some water for me?" So they pulled up, oh yeah, we do that all the time, Tom. So they came up and, we live on that hill,
Yeah.
and he came up and he says, "How can you have water you're living on a mountain out here?" I said, "Well, it's because we have a house here,
Yeah.
and it's old, and it comes through the rocks down there. It
Does.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
parents' house was the same way.
That's amazing. And same thing, we're in the higher spot on our property, but we got water. Yeah, it's impressive. When it,
Not water from going where it wants to go.
Yep.
Well, so we got a potential social, for activities, we've got a flyer to put together, update the website, that'll be something I'll do ASAP. Reach out to animal control with the list of who we are and our contacts.
I may know someone in town who could do that flyer. I'll ask her.
Okay.
Okay, the other thing is, I don't know.
We'd have to do
Verbiage.
Prepare it.
that have the pictures.
Yep.
Flyer, where was that? Okay. Tom has contact.
My daughter also does graphic design stuff, so if your contact person doesn't have time, she's in college right now, but like if we were to give her the information, she would make it look pretty
Good.
and get back to us, and we can do that.
Great.
Maybe she knows some better looking guys, and we just give them our hats.
Well, we get a hat?
Well,
Kidding.
so we need a couple photos, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of kids maybe horseback riding
Yeah.
at Bob and Steph's farm over on Root Road and stuff like that.
Yeah. Some alpaca pictures,
Yep,
chickens,
honey,
honey,
Yeah.
horses,
yeah,
so all the different
Yeah.
ones, the sheep,
yeah.
yep.
Can I get back to the school to farm day? Did you as the ag committee organize that, or did the school organize that? Or you just showed up and you said,
So-
we're gonna be here from here to here?
They had, I think it was 40-minute slots per grade.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, they dictated the time.
They
Okay.
dictated the time.
Once we
They
picked the
didn't wanna
day.
start before 9 or
well, they had
9:15
to, yeah, they
or
have to
something
wait
like
till
that.
everybody gets there.
And then they
Yeah.
set the schedule
Okay,
And we gotta remember to have a lunch.
oh yes,
yeah,
Yeah, lunch break. build
Yeah.
in a lunch break.
Bathroom lunch break.
Yeah.
Yeah, bathroom lunch
Yeah,
break, because we
exactly.
tend to all come in as individuals.
right, right,
And not a team, so,
Right. yeah, okay.
yeah.
So I'll, Jill, I don't think Jill was the principal when we did it last time?
The last time we were here, the second time for sure.
Oh, she was, okay,
Yep, I jumped
okay.
with Jill.
Alright, cause she's awesome, and she will, I'm sure,
Yeah,
she's easy to talk to.
She's
I just
probably-
can't remember. She's retiring though, the end of the year,
oh, okay,
which is, not good for the
Okay.
school, but she's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, yes, I will touch base with all of those guys and get us a date that works for them and us.
And then a rain date.
Yep. Right.
And a rain date,
All right.
and sort it out.
And then does each farm like provide a little something? I know I gave out honey sticks at one point, but,
I
you know, it
had,
gets, you had tea.
Alpaca manure.
I mean, just coloring pages or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I have,
Yeah,
I actually have a box of probably 100 little crayon boxes. They're like 4 crayons per box
Right.
that I just bring to, if I'm doing something like that or with coloring pages, so we could do that.
yeah, I used to take, word searches.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
just, however, you should ask Jill if she wants to have those handed to the class,
Right,
to the teacher.
right, we can,
To,
yeah,
to do on, as an activity afterwards or whatever.
yeah. Because we could also make like it more relevant to farms in town kind of thing,
Yes,
or like a crossword puzzle that said like
yeah,
what kind of cool things.
yep. See what she's,
Yeah,
would
yeah,
like to see,
yeah,
you know. Obviously, I usually focus on plants,
right, right.
vegetables.
But again,
fruits
like
and
if we
stuff.
gave them a little like
So
information on plants, or, I don't know, I mean, kids are really, they do really
Soak
like to
it up.
suck up the, they're
Mhm.
like sponges, so if we give them a little bit of something age appropriate, then they'll remember that, or even stickers with butterfly, you know.
Yeah.
Ask Jill for
Yeah.
ideas,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that things that are appropriate and not
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah,
And that's how we worked it out the last time.
No,
Yeah.
it's not appropriate. Stop.
Yeah, I know,
Produce a little manure anyways, but you don't have to give it up.
right,
Oh,
so,
Well, there's some chocolate candies that look a lot like that, so you can just tell them not to.
There was a company that was, there was a bag of chocolate covered raisins, that they were selling as alpaca poop.
Really?
Little brown baggie with a label,
oh my god,
yeah, had those
I think
quite a
we'll,
few
we'll
years
skip
back.
that part.
Yeah, yeah.
somebody will
They were
be offended
expensive.
by that.
Yeah. not only
Right, and it's
offended,
not
but-
like we have money to, like, it wouldn't be a thing that we would have to spend money on, I could just
Right.
Xerox a bunch of colored
Right.
pages or something, or
Right.
whatever.
Well, everybody kind of brought
Yeah.
their own thing.
Right,
Whatever
right.
it was,
Yeah,
so. Okay,
So, next, I guess, topic for activities for 2023 is agritourism, because that kind of falls under that. There was a
Committee.
committee, I'm not sure who was aware of it, that was trying to work on this topic, but you might have a better explanation of what
and
happened.
all the paperwork. We got to the point where the change or bylaw for the warrant would have been typed up. And then all of a sudden it kind of stopped. I ran into, Chris Monroe, who was the chair from planning, who was overseeing the committee, in the fall. And, committee works with, Central Massachusetts, I forget the name of the exact agency, to help write up certain things and plans and stuff. And basically, the person that they've been trying to work with on a couple different plans that the planning board was didn't do anything. Now in late fall, that person got fired, and they have a new person, and they're hopeful that stuff will move forward. So the whole point of this is that under the current town rules, there's no agritourism allowed at farms. It's not mentioned anywhere.
Right.
So under the right to farm bylaws, and maybe we can get some information from Mass Farm Bureau, we might be able to at least put forward a warrant to allow, under the right to farm bylaw, add another point, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
Category of agritourism.
yeah.
And it's probably something we could potentially get on this year's warrant. If we can pull something together quickly. The warrants are due April something every year for the June meeting, town meeting. That would at least allow us to move forward. Not to say that all the work and the changes that Chris and the whole committee was working on isn't the actual way to go, but because they were gonna suggest that if somebody was having an event that had over, 500 people, or therefore 500 cars, and you're gonna need a police to monitor traffic, because we're a rural town and stuff, that those would require special permits. And so I think the wording would have to still be very careful based on what the committee for that worked on last year, but it's holding some of us back by
Yeah.
not having anything,
Yeah.
me included.
Me included.
Yeah, you too, you for sure, all three of us, of the five of us here right now, and maybe your place, Dave, in the
Someday, yeah.
future.
Yep.
Of doing anything that's in that area.
Right.
And so I thought that, and we can bring it to the next meeting, I'll bring all the notes and drafts that we had. Not to say that we're gonna overrule anything that would be done, but just start to at least make it legal
Right.
to have small events that don't require special
Right.
permits.
Right.
And,
Now, how would this impact the larger goal
it
of
should
the committee that was,
So Keith was on it because he was the representative from the Agricultural Commission to start with. I was on it as a active farmer in town, just a member, based on that. And so I don't think that the goal is to oversee anything of the final zoning and updating that they wanted to do, make it one big solid package that would carry the town to the next couple decades by updating these things. But I don't wanna feel like I can't do anything and have it be illegal. So I think my thought is that under the right to farm bylaws, we can add another amendment to it to, following the state statutes of agritourism, to incorporate that in the right to farm bylaw. And we can think about, and we'll take it to legal counsel to say, that it would not replace space or over, but just to give us some freedoms. And we can limit size even in whatever we wanted to do based on what the other committee was going to suggest anyhow for special permits. Because, we don't need a national mud run through a farm
Oh my goodness.
where 20,000 people show up. That we couldn't handle and it wouldn't benefit us anyhow, so.
It's not what we're here for.
No, that's not what the focus of this town is. But to not be able to do anything on any level and feel okay that we're doing it, I don't think that's fair either. And so, I think we should work on that.
Sounds good. Now, has Chris Monroe commented on this? Have you spoken with him about that?
My current thoughts,
Right,
no,
right.
I haven't, but I wanted to bring it up to the Ag Commission first to see if you all think it's an okay attempt.
Yes, I think we should go.
Absolutely, yeah.
We should, I mean, the point is that none of us are going to have 100 people, for Christ's sakes, my guess,
Right,
at once.
right.
Not
And-
out
and-
the same, on the.
And I
same
don't
time.
think they really, I don't think that's, you could have more than that, even under, I think, what they were looking at, but, what they were really after was to get you to pay some money for parking and making you do all kinds of other things, and that, the problem is,
Well,
if
not,
we could get 100 people there, we'd love to do that, but if we had to pay, the town
A
for
police detail.
police details and all this other stuff.
Well, that's what you were saying at our last meeting, that you were worried about the fees.
Right, if I, for our, spring fair, if I have to pay for a police detail for, let's call it 6 hours, if I had to pay a fee to the town on top of that, it's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth the effort.
Right.
right, there is a number of, there's a list, and I didn't bring that material with me, that you should also have, of all the things that are by right, that would be incorporated into that committee's, document. And those by right things, we could encourage to move forward now.
Right.
And anything above that requires permitting would then ensue fees. Was the ultimate decision before things just kinda stopped. So, not to take away from their work, but even on a very small scale, there's a couple things I could do, but technically, they're illegal in this town.
Right.
But they would help my farm income, and they are a kind of farm agritourism, so. So,
Now, Katie Young has been pushing this pretty hard. I think she's the one that actually initiated all this.
she's on,
right.
she is the select board
Right.
representative on
Right.
the committee, yes.
And I wonder if she has any input on us doing it under the Ag Commission.
I don't know, but we have the right to move forward with it if we want.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
I'm just wondering if we should reach out to, I'm thinking Katie Young and Chris Monroe in particular, just to let them know what we're thinking.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, if we come up with some sort of draft, like in the next meeting,
Or even just, if we run into them in town, just mention it or something.
that we're gonna, maybe work on this, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, having them know,
Yeah.
in the know that we're working on it, and
Yeah.
that precludes them having some things that they don't want
Listed.
and listed, and
Mhm.
it gives us and if it's something that is,
Oh,
that we
definitely.
can go fight for, we know, we know where to go to fight.
Yeah, yeah, no, they should know, oh,
Right.
of course.
Right. I'm probably gonna run into both of them next week, so I'm just wondering if I should just mention something.
If they ask about the Ag Commission, yes, we can more formally reach out. If we have a draft, I think
Right.
that would be an appropriate time to actually even, present it to them and stuff.
Well, you can just tell them that we're looking at it and that we're gonna have to put a draft together
Right.
and
Yeah, you
because-
can say that if you
Yeah.
want.
yeah.
I'll just
Because,
mention it if I
because
see
of
it.
their, you know, their,
Well, we value their opinions.
yeah,
Absolutely.
valuing their
Input.
opinions.
But also don't wanna let this just sit for another 2 or whatever years.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Sounds good.
But you were concerned about the fees, so you wanna make sure that there's a right, where you don't have to have a
Right,
fee
and I think
to a certain
what-
level.
Exactly, and I think what we're looking at is the by right.
Right.
By right, we can have people come to our farm.
Right, up to a
By
certain
right-
limit.
Right, exactly. You know, part of the concern, and I don't know where it all stands, was there's a farm in town that, may or may not have been purchased, and they were looking to put in a wedding venue,
Mm-hmm.
and holding large weddings.
May
It's
or
a-
may
that's-
not have an effect on
That's something way over and above anything that we're talking about.
Right, so you'd have a limit.
Getting right, you know, the right to have agritourism events on our farms.
Right, but you say up to 50 people, up to 100 people, whatever, then after that, you need a permit, or there's a fee, or.
That's what they were going to work on.
Right, right.
Yeah,
It was
Right.
never determined.
right. But there was a large amount of by right, we can do this on our
Right.
farm. And so to move forward with that
That's
Right.
the part that I
Right,
feel we
exactly.
should move
Yeah.
forward with.
and not have the discussion
and-
on wedding venues.
Right,
Right.
And all the other, options that are out there, that people might want to do,
Mhm.
and agriculture might do in the next 20 years. That's something I still think that committee should address,
Mhm.
not us. But, you know, the number one thing in survey after survey that people like about Hubbardston is it's agriculturally oriented.
right.
And,
Thank God, Cross Farm bought by somebody who wants the foreman, so.
yes. Because that was 200 and, no, how big is that farm?
It's close to 3.
300.
Is that the farm that?
Yes,
Okay, so
At one
it has
point.
been purchased by someone?
There's a family on it now, and
Really?
I met the guy at the last farm, or the last meat raffle,
Ah,
and talked to him for a while. Nice guy, big fella,
big farm.
big farm.
Mhm.
so in that, kind of tying all of this together back with the social, something each of us should do is write down name, phone number if we know, and street address, 143 Williamsville Road, or whatever it might be, to compose that list of hobby and active farmers in town. So we can just pool what we know.
Mhm.
So that's sort of our homework, I suppose you might say.
Yeah, I got one that lives right across the road from me. I think I'll get him. It's Keith.
Now, isn't there a list of all properties that have animals on them that's available?
No, it's not available.
I thought that had changed.
No, it has not, to the best of my knowledge.
We've tried and tried and tried.
The emergency services of Hubbardston has a quote barn book, which is the list.
Right.
But that was, at this point, that list is at least 4 years old.
Well, they found my property pretty fast.
Oh, the animal control
Yeah,
person?
yeah.
Yeah, that does the survey.
Yeah,
But that's not public knowledge,
you're right.
accessible by us.
Correct. Yep, that's the way.
That's private information.
Yes.
Got it.
So we don't know.
Right,
We don't know you.
right.
Yeah.
You're a nice guy.
I don't really exist, by the way.
Neither do I. So, but yeah, so that's kind of a home, so,
Right. Cause I'm thinking that list would be all the hobby people.
Well, it's everybody.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well, you don't have to have animals to have a farm though.
right, exactly, yeah. It,
Just so happens I have both, so.
Right.
you know, we, there were people that we approached that did not want to be on the list.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, hey, and that's fine also.
Yeah.
As far as for what we were using it for, as a chance for people with farms, farm animals, big gardens,
Right.
anybody who wanted to associate with us, there was a chance to be on that list so that we could have a social, talk over any issues, just
Now-
meet other people in town.
What if people from outside the town want to be on the list or come to the social? No? I'm thinking, put up a sign at Tractor Supply, you know, and then you're gonna get people from all over.
Yeah.
No, this is a within town
Got it.
activity, so you know each other.
Right.
There are other organizations out there to meet other farmers, whether you're horse farming, sheep farming, vegetable, organic farmers, alpaca farms, there's other organizations for that sort of thing. We're just trying to build our own community is
Got
the
it.
purpose of it.
So could we put a sign up at Giacomo's? You know, for asking people?
I don't
I
know.
think did we do that before or not? I'm not sure. I think we may have.
I'm not sure how we did.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember. We just put our heads together and said, well, I know
Yeah,
that
we had-
this is,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
this is, you add this to the list and add that one to the list and stuff like that. I do know that Open Space is meeting at 7. They have already asked me if we have an updated list for
Mhm.
this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, we can work with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way of just building a general list
Mhm.
without necessarily, advertising.
Mm-hmm. Is Open Spaces meeting tonight?
I think that's who's meeting here after
I
us.
put down,
I don't remember.
I put down next Wednesday.
Might be tonight. There's a meeting here at 7. So,
I'm probably wrong.
yeah. Is it on that calendar?
CPC, 7:00.
That's tomorrow.
That's
CPC.
tomorrow. No, there's nothing on this calendar.
Okay. I just
What
know.
day is it?
That's Wednesday.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I've showed up here many a time when there was no meeting.
Yeah, I did that this last week.
So,
Moving on, almost there. Financial update, I have no information. I don't know if you do or
Okay.
not.
yeah, there's $300 in the Ag Commission budget. There's $20 in a fund for donations. And that's where we stand as of right now. I had a harebrained idea of, maybe using some of our $300 to purchase young tree saplings to, maybe help the folks on Main Street get trees back in their yards once all that is done.
I love that idea.
It's just a thought.
I would think.
I don't know
I
if
would
it's
go-
part of the plan.
I would do the same thing, but go in a different way.
Oh, sure.
You know, that road's gonna be torn apart all summer.
Oh,
a while,
right,
yeah.
that's
For a long
true.
time. As the Ag Commission, why don't we, do a kind of a GoFundMe thing for them? And that way we can not just put $300 in, but we can raise some money for them to, you know, plant some trees, redo their front of their house, you know,
In their
because
yards.
it's gonna be terrible. I only know this because I'm on the, I'm on the
The street.
Town Center
tree.
Committee?
no, the.
Maybe Hubbardston Beautiful?
No, no, this is terrible. It's, I guess I should tell you guys, I've been, diagnosed with, some of the stuff that happened in Vietnam,
Oh.
and I'm having short-term memory losses. And they're working on trying to turn me around, so.
Good for you.
Good.
Figured it out. That's
I'm on the memorial committee.
Right.
And so, I'm sitting there at the meeting the other day, and they've got all these plans going, and I'm thinking, where are they gonna do this? I mean, how are we gonna do this? So we're looking right now, and they're actually looking at how they could do the road and have, on one day, they could make it so we could march down, and I kind of think the best one is to go to the flashing light down here and march the other way, go down to the cemetery down there, do the,
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah. Now that's
It's
a
easier-
walk.
It's
and we're gonna have
easier to
to
walk
have-
downhill though.
Huh? Yeah, well, it's the going downhill is probably not gonna be bad, but, so we're looking at, the bus company here is always on for Memorial Day, whatever we wanted. So we could probably get a couple, 3 buses, and he just donates that to us. We can get that
That's a
done.
good idea.
So, I mean, to me, that's how I would go after it.
Sorry, it's just somewheres along the line we should,
Yeah.
I feel like,
I
as
think
part
we,
of
I think it would be,
conserva-
it would be some way to get our name out in there too.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, we raised for that over there, we raised, our goal was 30,000. We raised 48.
Wonderful.
And that 48 allowed us to redo all of the other ones that was up there.
Wonderful.
Nice.
And it was not hard.
Mhm.
I mean, we had several of us that were on the phone a lot. But the town is, the town, you're right, the town is, they're proud of what this town is, and some of the new ones aren't, but that's 'cause it's winter and they're,
It's okay.
they're in Hubbardston in the
But
winter.
I was thinking because, with climate change, which affects all of us farmers, that, trees are still the best way of sequestering, carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
So if we could work with some sort of tree project along those lines, I think that would be a good goal for maybe the AgCom for the next couple of years.
Like that idea.
Yeah.
That'd be like a new goal.
There was a report put out for Worcester last week or so to work on reducing hotspots in the city.
Mhm.
Right.
And they only need 34,000 trees
Mm.
as part of it, and then also painting different rooftops white and
Mhm.
et cetera and so on. But it was interesting, it is interesting as far as you go to different areas, just no trees, and
Right.
again, Worcester with the Asian longhorn beetle,
Right, destroy
took
they
it.
just
so many
took so
down.
much out,
Yeah.
and, yeah.
And Worcester's interesting because it's sort of like the start of the forest that goes up through Massachusetts into, like, it really is the beginning of the true pathway of our forests that go all the way up into New Hampshire and Maine.
So that was just
No,
something
I
we
like
can
that
work
idea,
towards
yeah.
Yeah.
for the next couple of years. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be, it's like a, more of a long-term goal.
Yeah,
Since a lot of some of it won't happen until after the construction goes
Right.
on.
Right, yeah.
But it's a good way as farmers to, show that we can help plant things in the town too.
yeah. Do we ever have like, at the field day and, I guess it's field day, the one that's in September?
And the town fair.
Yeah, do we have like a tent to just say who we are as a committee and, you know, donate if you wanna, you know, our plan is to plant new trees when the construction on Main Street is done. This is our plan, it's, you know, we could get donations that way.
Yeah.
Sort of wouldn't cost
Field
us any
day,
money.
that would be appropriate for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cause that would be kinda cool.
And
But
have it-
again, you know, we
you
need
just-
help to
you
man
just
the
need to
table.
tell 'em- we just need to tell them what we'd like to do, and it's gonna cost you, I don't know what it was.
$25,
$25,
yeah, which is not a,
Mhm.
and they might even, I mean, I think Joyce Green, the Lions Club runs it.
Whoever runs it.
I don't,
May
yeah,
allow us to have a booth.
yeah,
Several years ago, I had a booth up with flip cards
yeah,
about the
yeah.
history of farming things in Hubbardston.
Yeah.
I did that one year, several years ago.
I mean, we could come up with like a cool, like little games and or whatever, I don't know.
Well, Field Day has some farming
Yeah.
activities
Yeah.
already, but it would need
Yeah, so it would
to
be over with everything and then you could be like,
It would need to be a unique
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
but there's cool questions that not a lot of people know the answers to, like how much oxygen does one tree provide, you know, and there's a formula that you can do so that you can tell like a size of a tree and how much oxygen it would provide for one person or however many people. That's a, you know, there's a formula for that you can measure, you measure the tree and,
Mhm.
but it's kinda cool, I mean, there's kinda cool like little trivia questions that we could make a board.
When is Field Day? Let's try to-
September. Is that the one in September?
Field Days in September.
September.
It's always like September
Okay, so that's-
17th.
Yeah.
15,
But
16,
the, so what's the
Town
spring one?
fair.
Town fair.
Town fairs, that's Katie's.
And that's in June.
I don't know if it's, if it's, I haven't looked at the calendar to see if it's.
She-
That's what I'm trying to find it.
She's already inviting people, so usually it's like mid-June, like the 10th or the 17th, I'm thinking, and then the one in September is that same like 16, 17 weekend.
Mhm.
It seems to always be like that third weekend.
Mhm. Right. We can certainly set a goal for the fall.
Yeah.
Typically, we haven't had meetings in July and August, because most of us have been out busy
Farming.
farming. But maybe we'll have to have something if we wanna, a brief meeting,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah, if we, so Field Day is the one that the Lions Club runs.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so if we, and that's not till September, so probably between now and then we could come up with something, even if it was just,
Mhm.
like if there's
Yeah, there's all
pieces
kinds
of
of
wood,
things.
everything in my cellar, I could come up with some kind of a flipboard thing or something.
Right. I just used heavy construction paper,
Yeah, yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
and a good Sharpie, and
Right.
and then if they got stuff right,
Yeah.
they got, what did I have? Tomatoes or something.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah,
some tomatoes or green beans or something.
yeah.
When I leave here tonight, I'm gonna take this hat off and put my Lions Club on, because that meeting starts at 7:30.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so,
Yeah, I think we're all kinda on the same page then. Does that sound okay with folks?
Sounds
Yeah.
good so
They good
far, yeah.
ideas?
yeah, we would just need people to run the table, cause I usually have, the Be
That's-
Nice Farm usually has a
Right.
thing, and you usually have.
We're either there with a booth or
Yeah.
we're somewhere else.
Right,
It would be nice to
Mm.
get someone new in town who's a hobby farmer to get involved,
yeah.
or something like that.
I mean, I could set up and I could have somebody, I could work the booth and have somebody run
Depending
my.
on how we, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a big deal, I have teenagers that would help me, not my teenagers, but other teenagers. I could use your teenagers to help me, they would help me.
Exactly, switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, So, yeah, I mean, that's not a problem, I could run the tent,
Yeah, I have tents,
yeah,
so we don't
I have a
to.
tent, yeah. But I just
we
think that would
probably
be
all
a,
have tents.
Yeah.
that would
I've
be
got a
a
tent.
fun idea, just,
Yeah,
Partial
just-
tents. Many parts.
yeah, so, we'll think on that, and then,
Yeah, it's
I'm
just-
sure as
yeah.
I, you know, cause I'm brand new, and so I don't need to be like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, but
If you
I
want
get-
to, we're all for it.
Okay, cause I like to do
Seconded.
this kind of stuff, so that would be fun. And the more information I get from us as what we do, I can turn that into some kind of an educational board or something.
Right. I haven't looked, has anybody looked recently, to see that the right to farm bylaws and everything are on the website still?
I
haven't checked.
didn't even think to look at the website, so I will do that.
So I'll have to check
Right.
too and see.
I'm pretty sure.
I think
They
we
must
still
be,
have everything
yeah.
on there.
They were a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Is that the last time you guys have met, was a year and a half ago?
No, before I moved here, I wanted to see what the bylaws were.
Okay.
I moved here a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
Any other topics we wanna bring up? I think we just kinda did that.
I think that's all of that.
Great.
Can I just ask one more question? I'm sure that obviously other towns in Massachusetts have an ag committee, and do we look at their paperwork to see like if it compares to what we could use? Could we use some of their verbiage in write-ups about, you know, right to farm kind of, and the whole
The-
agritourism? Are there other towns that,
They-
like
right.
Rutland?
Part of what the other committee
Okay,
was working
okay.
on already brought that information in.
Okay,
That
Yeah, they
we-
basically just photocopied the Rutland.
well, it would make sense not to
Correct. Right.
reinvent the wheel. Is that information someplace that we would be able to look up or?
I'll have to bring it up to the next meeting.
Okay. Cause that would be just, yeah.
It's in another notebook.
So then in the, you kept saying the right to do something, or what was that?
Be able to do things by right, just
Okay.
because we live in.
Because you live in
Well,
Hubbardston or?
it's part of the state Massachusetts, code.
Okay.
Under, you know, that, farms can have agritourism.
Farms can do such and such,
yeah.
okay. All right.
General law, I think it's called.
Okay, and that's a state thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
And it
okay.
was passed under MDR, Massachusetts Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
Agricultural resources. And then if we need interpretations, we can check with potentially the town council, but also like Mass Farm Bureau.
Yeah,
They have resources that could give us advice if we needed it.
all right.
So I
So that's-
recall it goes back a long time. I'm the guy that created this thing
You
in
did.
town.
Yes, Tom started it here.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I believe what it was that it says we have the right to do that. But it also leaves open the town, it leaves open that they can't keep you from doing it, but it doesn't say they can't make you pay for it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That was what we were trying to get back.
Right. And some of the, state guidance now in rules and regs, has certain stipulations that are by right that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And, basically the current town charter has not really, and or bylaws, I don't always use the right word, sorry, because I'm not an expert on that, doesn't have that in the wordage. So we
Okay.
wanna add that in.
Right.
And I just felt like perhaps by doing it under this umbrella.
Oh, no, yeah, I just.
Of this group,
Yeah.
that,
Right.
Well, the problem in this town with bylaws is that some group, and the Lions Club was one of them, despite what I was trying to tell them. They get something that they need to do that's not covered, or that there's a bylaw that says they can't do what they wanna do. And so what they do is they volunteer to rewrite the bylaw.
Mm.
Now, it has to be, has to be approved and everything, but, in this town, we may have this many people in town, but this many are voting,
Right.
and so they go through. And then, all of a sudden, they find out that the damn bylaw's working against them.
Mhm.
Which entertains me, because it's just,
Right, which is why some bylaws are / charter is too strict
Right.
and some isn't
right.
strict enough.
Right.
And that was one of the things that the other committee was really trying to find the even keel
Right.
of all of that. And then
I
it just
tried to
kinda got
find
hung up.
people who didn't think the bylaw was good. And then to make sure they knew we were
Right.
coming forth with it, and give them an opportunity to fight back. Because, and when I did that, it always worked.
Mhm.
Because you could, we're not trying to, bring a big bunch of animals here.
Mm-mm.
This is not gonna be Wyoming out there, so.
Right, right.
And the interesting thing was, just as a by thing, that when that came out and they told us that they wanted, to have us get that bylaw in all the towns. But they also tell us how to do it, and, they come up quiet, don't piss anybody off, just, do this now, and then, maybe in another year, do this and get it, and then you rewrite the bylaw, and that's how it works. I'm sorry, I'm a retired captain in the Navy, I don't do business that way. I just put the whole thing together, we went around town, we got everybody, and this town just swallowed it up. I had no trouble getting this thing in there,
Yeah.
because this is why they were here.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that that's the same kind of approach for this,
Yeah.
only we're not going to try and correct all the issues that were brought up at the committee,
Right.
the other committee. We're just really,
Just a subset.
Yeah.
yes, just a subset.
Just the things we need done.
Right, exactly.
Well, and it doesn't seem like
And I'm
you're
sorry, I
asking for
don't-
too much, like just the stuff that needs to, seems like the things that we were just talking about seem like an easy,
Yeah. I think it's
like
obvious.
flow into the bigger
Mhm.
things, and,
Mhm.
that would be lovely if we had a beautiful wedding venue here. I
Yeah.
mean, it would bring
Great.
people into town, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, but we don't necessarily need to start with that, or,
Right.
but we could start with even just like, Farm Day. Princeton has farm days and people travel from farm to farm to farm.
Yeah,
So
we've done that
are we
before.
allowed to do that
We
here?
We
did
have
it.
been, yeah.
So,
did it.
but, yeah,
We did
I mean,
it.
which is a
So we
beautiful
did it.
thing, so, yeah,
Yeah, we
But
have done it.
was
but-
it, should we have, I don't know, I haven't read the bylaws, yeah,
Right. So.
yeah.
The good news is if we, sidetracking back to, GoFundMe, because we have that donation fund, there is a place already set up and on
Oh,
the
nice.
books for deposits.
Right, that'd be good. It's important.
And then
The way that works is that the money comes in, it'll be coming to us, but it goes to the town.
right,
And it sits in in a place in the town
Right, with our name on it.
with our name.
Yeah.
Right, and that's that donation account that the Ag Commission has.
Yeah.
We got that established a long time ago.
Yeah.
At this point, seems like everything's a long time ago at this point.
Maybe that was the $15 that I gave.
Yes,
It is, it's your $20 donation. It definitely is, I can say that for sure.
One last thing I wanted to bring up, this is an idea, I guess, that was floating around a couple of years ago, before I joined, of starting a student garden at the center school.
Oh, we had one years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, for-
Karen,
For Franza.
yep,
Karen and Brenda.
she, it was beautiful. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful idea, and we ate there. We ate carrots, fresh carrots, we ate
Right.
fresh, it was nice, and I don't know what happened to it.
I know there was a couple attempts to keep it going, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
the PTO kept it going for a couple, 3
Who did?
years.
The PTO.
The PTO.
Oh, PTO.
Well, I think what happened
But
was
then-
the state changed their food
Services.
program and their food services, and now the entire state, like, eats the same food on the same day, like every school, and the whole, it's, I think that's what happened, is it was a wonderful idea. It was wonderful. The kids learned how to compost. It was I think the most successful thing that Hubbardston ever did outside of their learning their building. Like, it was amazing.
But we can
Karen
still
did a
do that.
fabulous
I mean,
thing,
it doesn't
yeah.
have to go to the cafeteria.
Oh, we could still do that, but then you have produce that nobody is eating, so then you'd have to set up something else, you know? Like, the
Well-
problem is,
Would you ask Jill if?
I will.
And one of the things about bringing that back is to only grow crops that would be harvested in the fall.
Right.
Right.
Like butternut squash, and if they have the option to do that now.
I thought though that the state had they tell them what's gonna be fed.
Oh,
Right.
food-wise, yes,
Right,
so
but-
we wouldn't be able to feed the students
Students.
this. It would just be an extra
home
curriculum
holiday.
activity.
Yeah, exactly. Take
Right,
it
well,
from-
they, you know, it would be like
Potentially,
the
yeah.
garden club, like it was
Right.
before. It's just
Right.
that Karen was able to get the garden club to, you know, pick the carrots, and then our actual cooks that were in the kitchen actually used to cook food, and they would, you know,
Right.
make fresh soups. Like, it was amazing,
Right, what I think Kathy's saying, have something where the kids would plant the
Right,
crop
we
and
could,
then-
yeah,
and
we
then-
could just do a
then
school
someone
garden, yeah.
would maintain it over the summer.
Right.
And then in the fall, they could go out and then
Yeah.
harvest it, and they
I
could see
get-
the fruits of their labors from before.
Definitely, yeah, that takes people though, that
Right.
takes volunteers.
Yeah,
I wonder
well,
if-
that's what
You
committees
know.
like this are for, right?
I wonder if we
Right.
The
could
garden
get-
club and,
Yeah,
I
but
wonder
we
if
would need a
could get
leader
the,
for the garden club. It needs adults to lead them.
yeah,
the one over here, next door. Get the
The
stuff.
senior center?
Yeah, the senior center.
Oh, we could give the produce to the senior
Senior
center,
center,
yeah.
well, that's a great idea. That's
That
a
is a
fabulous
really good idea.
Yeah.
you can't eat it, but you can.
Well,
Would you ask Jill
I will
what
definitely,
the current
yes,
rules
yes.
and guidelines
I-
are for that
yes.
kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Cause at one point,
It
I
was-
did bring it up to her, and she did say that something like butternut squash, they could incorporate into their meal plan,
Okay,
because it is on the list
okay,
of
I go-
things,
I go
so I
in
don't know.
I go in
But
and
that,
pick,
that was
they,
just, that was a conversation that just ended.
28,000 last number, I think last year, 28,000 eggs that the egg company gave.
right,
And that goes on all
Oh.
year round.
yeah. To
And,
the seniors?
To the seniors. I go down and pick up my share, Andrea's share, and her sister lives in the house, and then we have other people in town who just don't wanna be associated with that group, so we just take it and pass it on to them. But
Mhm.
they do really well.
Mhm.
You know, the Lions Club, you know, we take great pride in doing things like that, but there's a lot there's a lot of people in town who, you know, are really, either, there's a group that wants to be that way, wants to give things, take care of people. And then there's people who are embarrassed that they need it,
Yeah.
and so we have, one of our committees looks for those people. And so that we can
Great.
identify who they are, and some of the times, there's one of our guys, God, I can't tell you his name, but, he has to sneak in to this place. They eat it, but they don't, you know, they don't wanna know who's bringing it to them, it just shows up, so that would be good. I mean, if the kids, you know, a program where the kids, raised vegetables and those kind of things over
Yeah.
there, learned
Yeah.
that part of it, and then learn the part of giving that
Mm.
to the people who need it.
Mm.
Yep, I think I just know that they're gonna need volunteers to do this. The
Yeah.
school doesn't have,
Yeah, well, the
the-
summer you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
for the whole program, if
Right.
it's an
Yeah.
after-school garden club, the school doesn't have the
Staffing
staff
and
to
Right.
do
Right.
this.
Right.
So it would have to be an
From
outside,
outside, yeah.
you know, a Hubbardston town, you know, somebody doing it for them.
And you mean like keeping it watered and?
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
kids could help, like Karen had them, it was an after-school program, however time they met a week, the kids did everything, they planted, they had a blast, it was, they loved it, I remember my daughter loved it. You planted, and then you watched them grow, you watered it, and then you went out, and you composted it from the,
Right.
you know, from the
Mhm.
cafeteria back outside, that was like, if you had compost duty, that was the best thing of your whole week, like you had compost duty. Like seriously, it was fun for these kids. And then, you know, they'd eat their carrots, and they were just so proud of it,
Right.
but Karen ran that whole
Yeah.
program.
Now,
It basically,
Had some
Quabbin-
type of a group at one, I don't know if
Yeah.
they still do or not, it might be something we can work backwards from.
yeah, I know the high school has a garden as well, up at Quabbin. The high school, middle school does, but I don't know who runs that, I
Yeah.
could find out. Yeah,
Yeah, it might be able,
yeah,
again, work,
piggyback on that or
yeah,
something, yeah.
Along those lines, Growing Places in Leominster, they got a grant with Montechusett to buy a freight farm. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the freight farms at all. It's a company out of Boston that's
I think Mighty
growing in
Tech
a
has
container.
one, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so they, that came through Growing Places.
okay, that's a cool
And,
idea.
What do they do? They,
Basically, it's a farm in a freight container.
Isn't it hydroponic or
Yeah,
not?
yeah,
It is,
it's all
yeah.
hydroponic, run from your smartphone.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
don't know where it stands at this point, I just happened to see that. I don't know if it was last year, this year, or coming.
So
but
is it coming up?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, I know Monty Tech has one right now, and
Okay,
I
so that
think
would- that
that,
would've been- was
I
it-
don't
That
know.
was probably the
Yeah,
funding
yeah.
right there for
Yeah,
that.
it's new this year.
Yeah.
Or not new, like 2022 new.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's up and running enough for them to pull their produce for their
Mm.
culinary program already, or if they're working towards it, I don't know about that part, but I know it's parked right in the back, you can see it.
Yeah.
It's kind of fenced off, but, you know,
I
it's
just happened
labeled.
to be on their website
Yeah,
and found that.
yeah,
they-
that's a really cool idea.
yeah.
Not necessary here in Hubbardston. We
No,
have
no,
lots
no.
of land, but it is for
Yeah.
other cities.
Well, for
Mm.
Fitchburg, I think it's wonderful, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Shall we adjourn?
so
So-
moved?
I'll second that.
Do we have do we schedule meetings before, like upcoming meetings, or do we just do that on the fly?
They used to be once a month, but if we want to, put something forward, maybe in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah,
since
that-
we're getting restarted here,
In 3 weeks
Right,
is
yeah, we oughta-
opening
Yeah.
So it's the week of the 27th,
of,
February.
okay, there's a Board of Health meeting on Tuesday. But I don't don't know what's on Wednesdays.
We could do the 1st of March as a Wednesday. Is today Wednesday, yeah. Do you wanna keep them on Wednesdays?
It's okay with me,
Is that-
works for
Fine,
me.
it
works
for
on,
me,
yeah.
And 5:30 a good time for everybody?
Sure, I
Well,
just come
Right
right
now,
down.
or
the
do you
first,
have a
the
couple?
second and third Wednesday, is tough for me, because that's, Lions meetings. But, if it's gonna be at 5 o'clock
5:30?
or 5:30,
Yeah,
yeah, I can just peel off and go there too, so.
so next.
But if we did it the first and third,
That works.
yeah, the first
Oh.
and third
First
Wednesday.
and third Wednesday.
So let's make the next meeting March 1st at 5:30 here, if space is available.
Okay. So I will have talked to Jill, by then about the school to farm day.
Mhm.
And I will also get her, get a feel for, the garden club and see if that's something that we can do.
Great.
And,
I'll get minutes out to you guys before, a couple days before.
is there anything else that I was gonna do?
I think so, for right now. Alright, so we'll adjourn at 6:50 PM.
Sounds good?
Is that okay?